Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, segment 3. Thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hirsch, Jewish Chicago. If you haven't seen it yet, please go get your copy. And it's at this point, it's probably on the web. It's not going to be at all the locations quite yet, but make sure you get your copy. In any event, it is a pleasure to have the commissioner, and I forget the district number, but the
10.
district is south, the 10th, the 10th district of the Cook County Board, who is running for re-election to her first full term.
Yes.
Bridget Gainer. How are you?
Thank you, Avi. Thanks for having me.
First of all, my pleasure. And how have you found your first term on the board?
I've loved it. It's been about a year and a half. So Mike Quigley went to Congress, and I took over last April, and I've loved it. There's so many interesting things at the county, and we have a lot ahead of us. We're approaching our next budget, which will be at the end of this year. We have to cut $150 million out of that $3.2 billion budget because of the sales tax rollback that we did last year. But I think it creates some opportunities to make some good policy decisions.
No, very good. So 150. That's going to be a whole debate, and plus you're going to have a brand new board in some ways.
They'll probably only be there. There's only one for sure new member of the board. Jesus Garcia will be coming on the board in the beginning of the year, and John Fritchie actually will be replacing Forrest Claypool. And there's some general election races out there, so we may get one or two more people.
But you'll definitely have a new president.
We will definitely have a new president, regardless of who wins or who doesn't. Yeah, it'll be either Toni Preckwinkle, which is obviously very likely, or Roger Keats.
Yeah, I would think that Preckwinkle is a very likely choice. And by the way, stay tuned. In 2 weeks, she'll be on the show.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think, I don't know Roger Keats. I know I've gotten to know Toni Preckwinkle, and I think she seems like an incredibly hard worker, and I think it'll be great.
Yeah, no, listen. The one thing for her is at least I think she's honestly motivated, which is something that's very foreign to the presidency of the Cook County Board.
Well, the county board is a tricky thing to run. You have all these separately elected officials who really get to run their own show, and it's a lot about trying to figure out a way to get people to collaborate. And we, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think she'll bring all that knowledge from the city over to the county, and that'll be helpful. I mean, I think one of the biggest opportunities we have as we look at this $150 million that we need to cut out of the budget is collaboration with the city. There's 16 city or county health clinics. There's 9 city health clinics. Some of them either share a building or are down the street from one another, and they could be combined. You could get federally qualified health clinics like Heartland or others to come in and look at potentially running some of those clinics. The combining could extend the hours. Most of the clinics are just open during the day, and that's difficult for working people. So I think we have some opportunities ahead of us, and having someone with her background will be helpful.
No, I think it'll be very refreshing and very nice, and she's certainly intelligent.
Oh, she's very smart, yeah.
Extremely. So what are the boundaries of your district?
So I started at North Avenue on the lakefront, and I basically go from the lake to probably around Racine or Ashland, all the way up to about Pratt, right about here. And then I take a right between Devon and Bryn Mawr. I go west. So this is not in my district, but I go west.
You go up to Arthur, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I go up to, I bop around a little bit in Rogers Park, but I get all of Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Edgewater, Uptown, and southern end of Rogers Park. And then I go west over Peterson Park and Sauganash, a little bit of Edgebrook, this area in here.
Oh, you go that far west?
I do.
It's a very varied area.
It is. The lakefront is one part of the politics, and then you have the section on the northwest side. It's great. I mean, it's a great district. It's obviously a solidly Democratic district, pretty progressive. It's a wonderful area to represent.
Yeah, are you getting a lot of input from your constituents?
I probably speak at a community meeting about once a week. I mean, the great thing about the lakefront and the northwest side is tons of community organizations. So we have been out to speak to them, and we actually produced out of our office, which you can get on the website, which is bridgetgainer.com, is a citizen's guide to the county budget. So the county budget is $3.2 billion, 24,000 employees, huge. There's public health, public safety, the forest preserves, and all the tax and administration. But we have done about an 8-page PowerPoint presentation to break down where does the money come from, where does it go, what are the different sources and uses of the funds, and we're hoping that it will allow people to advocate for changes they want to see in the county budget. I think for so long, even though the budget's online, it's 900 pages, and it's really hard for people to weigh in and say, this is what I'd like to see be different.
It's very difficult for people to understand the 90-page budget, let alone a 900-page budget.
Right. That's right. So our hope is we can make it a little bit more simple. We can kind of let people know what's open to change and go from there.
No, that sounds great. Before I forget, I want to thank Katie
Yes,
very much.
I know.
Katie is very instrumental in getting you here and in taking good care of
Right.
your office and the whole shop.
Right. Well,
and she does a wonderful job.
You know, there's 300,000 constituents in each county board district, so you need to be organized to get the word out to people, and I appreciate that.
No, she's definitely organized, that's for
She
sure.
is. She is. As my mother could say, she could organize the Red Army, but I don't know if anyone knows what that means anymore. So,
Very good. So what would you like to see happen over the next 4 years?
a couple things. One is, you know, I'd like to see more collaboration, as I said, between the city and the county. When you look at, the county gets its money basically from sales tax, from property tax, and then other kind of uses and cigarette taxes and all these other things. And, you know, property tax revenue is not on the upswing. Sales tax revenue, especially in this economy, is a little down. So we need to figure out a way to provide service, because the county is basically a service provider. You know, people come into the jail, people go into the hospital, we pay the taxes and collect the money. We need to be more efficient, and one of the best ways to do that without cutting service is to combine with other governments that may be doing the same thing. So I'd like to see a little bit of that go on. We're working a lot out at the Juvenile Detention Center. I think there's great opportunities to work with some of the young people there in a more effective way. And then we are also working out at the jail, and then even with some members of City Council, around trying to address the issue of women in prison, and especially mothers in prison. There are about 1,000 women in Cook County Jail at any given time. 85% of those are nonviolent offenders, and lots, you know, a majority of those women were living with children at the time of arrest. Mm-hmm. And you really have to look at it's a very much a revolving door. You have multiple people, you know, in and out, multiple arrests, 10 arrests, 20, 30, 40 arrests. And every time someone cycles through the jail, it's $10,000 when they go for the average stay.
Wow.
By the time they go to court, the average stay in the jail for women is, you know, it's approaching 100 days, as at least according to the John Howard Society. And we need to look at how to get to some of the root causes, or else we're going to continue to do the same thing over and over again.